Welcome to the Sun River Anglers Fly Tying Corner for this month. I'm going to feature a Soft Hackle October Caddis. This is a fly that I learned from Andy Puyans down in the San Francisco Bay Area many years ago during a late night scotch induced fly tying session. It's a fly I've gone back to many times in the Trinity and the Deschutes and the McCloud and many other rivers that feature October Caddis, and it's a fly I've used to catch trout and steelhead, and it's just an overall good pattern. So tie along with me and enjoy. Let's review the materials list for this pattern. It's got a wide variety of really useful and unique materials to blend together to create the October Caddis look of this fly, and I'll cover them one by one so you can see precisely how it's put together. For the hook, I'm going to use a Deschutes 1260. This is a long shank curved hook. We'll use a size 8 or 10 for this October Caddis pattern. For the bead, I'm going to use a 7/64 tungsten black bead that I get from Canadian Llama. I also add several wraps of 0.25 lead wire, both to weight this fly a little heavier to get it down quickly, but also to set that bead in place and keep it from moving. For the thread, I'm using Beavis Black 14/0 thread. For the abdomen, I'm using Spirit River's Bright Blend Polar Orange dubbing, and I'm going to rib that with pearlescent flat flash in small. For the wing pads, I'm going to use a turkey feather, and I cut this and prepare it with a little bit of UV resin and light treat it before I tie it on to keep that material from splaying apart. An adaptation from the original pattern, I've added some dark Pardo CDC that I get from Trout Hunter. This helps give the bug a perception of air bubbles that a caddis would have on its body as it's ascending through the water column. It captures air and makes it look very lifelike. This is an important addition to this pattern. For a hackle, I'm using a Whiting Farms Brahma hen in natural brown. Excellent for this pattern. And when this fly fishes, the hackle will stream back over the pattern and give that nice caddisy look. I also add 2 fibers from a ringneck tail feather to add as the horns on this pattern. And lastly, I'm going to wind the thorax of this pattern with peacock herl. Okay, so let's get started tying this fly. I'm first going to attach my 25/100ths lead wire to the hook, and I'm going to wrap about 6 to 8 turns. If I really want to go heavy, I can add more, but 6 to 8 turns should do it. And I'll clip off the tag ends, and then I'm going to use my scissors to smooth out the tips or the edges of this wire on the hook. So I'll tie on my tying thread right behind the lead wire, and then I'm going to wrap some turns over it to seat it in place right against that bead to hold the bead firm and solid on the hook. Next, I'll tie on my flash material and wind that back to the tail set position right above the barb. So I'll take some dubbing material and I'll pinch it onto the hook and capture a few fibers. And I'm going to start right at the lead, and I'll wind that material around the thread to create a yarn. And then I'm going to wind it back to the tail set position and back forward up into the back of the thorax to create the abdomen for the October Caddis. If I didn't start with enough dubbing, I'll add some more here to continue bringing this forward up to the back of the thorax. And then I can take my flash material and I can wind it forward with 4 or 5 wraps up to the back of the thorax as well and tie that off. So I've pre-cut 2 pieces of turkey and I've treated the tips with UV resin so they won't splay apart when I tie them in. So I'm going to start by tying in the near wing pad and clip off the excess. And then I'll tie in the far wing pad and clip off the excess. I've taken my dark Pardo feather and I've clipped just a little bit off the tip to allow me to fold the CDC over the top and have it land on the sides of this fly. And I'll tie that in and just clean it up a little bit. And clip off the excess. So I've taken a whiting Brahma Hen Hackle Feather and prepared it by stripping off the side of the barbs on the feather that are going to be downward on the fly or against the hook. I've just cleared those out. And I'll tie this in by the tip. And then I'm going to go ahead and start winding that around the fly or around the thorax area with probably about 2 wraps, no more so than that. You don't want to overburden this fly. And clip off the excess. I've cut 2 barbs off a ringneck pheasant tail, and I'll split these and I'm going to tie them on one at a time to form the horns on this caddisfly, or the long antenna that is on this caddisfly. And I'll tie first in the near one and then I'll tie in the far one and trim off the excess. The last step in this fly is to tie on the Peacock Barb. So I've prepared one and I'll tie it on right at the thorax of this fly, and I'm going to lay it into a very slight bed of glue. They break easily, so I like to give them a little support with some glue underneath. And I'll wind it shiny side back, dull side forward, and tie that off and drop into a whip finish and clip off the excess. So let me rotate this in the vise so you get a full 360 view of this Soft Hackle October Caddis. So that has been your Sunriver Anglers fly tying corner for this month. Give the Soft Hackle October Caddis a try. I think you'll like it. For trout, for steelhead, any place that October Caddis live. And please, if you like our YouTube page, subscribe and like us on Facebook.